personally, and then share what your focus is this week and if there's something that you would like to see prioritized on the agenda. And I'll let whoever wants to raise their hand and get started. Amin, I know you've got a little guy there. Is now a good time for you to start?
Yeah.
In case you've got to go.
My feeling, not a special feeling. I just know that we have a line way to, we should keep the application up. I'm technically towards race, making it reliable and be able to serve lots of people. Improve its UI. And also, I should put some time on studying about smart contract development. And I'm excited about new infrastructure on cloud. We have activated our subscription. I have bring up some server on that. We are using that. Use it for tests, but it's cool. It's fast. It's easy to use. Yeah.
I missed what you said. What is the server or the application?
We for the start we created a server on the Azure.
Azure, that's it. Yeah.
I played with that. It has lots of capabilities, but needs some expert to utilize that. It's much to talk about that now, but I don't want to get the time.
Great. Okay, and who can you pass it to?
I like to pass it to Willie.
Thanks, Amin. Excited about the Azure stuff. Feeling today, really excited. I got good feelings about this week. I'm also waking up this, trying to balance that. Focus this week, still primarily on the Giveth token economy and advancing that. And agenda priority, the one thing that if we have time that is always an opportunity for improvement is the payment disbursement, which I think I will acknowledge that we've made some really good progress over the past month. And thank you, Danielle, for taking the initiative to advance everything with the regular rewards and the reward DAO. That's awesome, and I feel much better knowing that that's in place. But still, we month is coming to an end, and we got to also take the funds and take the budget we have in the DAO and reward that to everybody. We go above and beyond, and maybe actually, because things have changed so much over the past month, maybe just looking at that overall process, maybe it is a good opportunity to see how we can improve that. Right now, that is one of our more centralized processes. So just acknowledging that, and if we have time, that does seem like one good opportunity for things we can do better.
Yeah, that's definitely the main thing I have on the agenda.
Awesome, sweet.
Yeah.
And then I'll pass it to Lori.
Hi, everyone. I'm feeling good, like a little bit tired. Yesterday, Ashley got home, so I picked her up, and then it was like late night unpacking. So I'm feeling tired, but this week, well, I want to work like kind of on consolidating my ideas about like how Giveth is revolutionizing philanthropy, and then like work on the thought piece or communication piece for that. So yeah, I feel like we have so much great information and so many great ideas that are floating around in all these channels, and I kind of like want to put them together and then like put them into something that we can like release to the public, that we can attract more donors. And yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I don't have anything in particular to add onto the agenda, although I saw that there's like decide how we're going to determine what features we're going to be adding into like and in what order, and I think that would be great to talk about. I would like to talk about that. And I'll pass it to Mitch.
Hello, everyone. I'm doing okay. No distractions. This week, my main focus is to get the Giveth docs looking a bit more filled out, robust, professional looking, now that we're live and people are going to be looking at those docs. Apart from that, I'm curious to see what comes out from the Give distributions discussion. I think that'll be really cool to get some of us being able to participate in governance. And that's it. And I will pass it to Mateo.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy week for everyone. I'm feeling okay, all right. Very excited to see what comes out this week for the many feedback that has been given for the application. So yeah, excited to jump in and code all of the week through that. Not particularly interested in jumping into a topic this meeting, except for the new payment method that with Danny, we have been trying wise transfer or something like that. So as this week is the last of the month, I'm interested in discussing that or see how that would go. I know that with Danny, we have made some tests and one was unsuccessful. With wise transfer and that, but we already know what was the issue. So I think that's it. I'm only interested in that and listen to all. Excited to see what's next for the Giveth token economy. And yeah, I'll pass it to Marco.
Are you muted?
Sorry, did you say Marco?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah, is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't hear that. Thanks, Mika. Hi, everybody. Feeling good. Distracted by kids don't want to go to school, and they're arguing with us now. Other than that, plans for this week: facelifting Giveth UI, making minor UX improvements, submitting that to the devs, and hoping this will get coded fast enough and then deployed live. Yeah, that's it. And I pass it on to who's not gone. Oh, there's Griff. Griff, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I had some internet issues. Anyway, excited. Yeah, hey, maybe payments could go through the DAO this time. That would be super cool. I would love that if that was possible. And distractions. I think that's the only intention I have to talk about. Although there was something else that we were talking about yesterday that I feel like was like, oh, this is the last topic of the call and can be the first topic of governance tomorrow. But I can't remember what it was. And then there's distractions. Someone's gonna probably bring me some breakfast in the morning. It's very nice. Bed and breakfast I'm living it up for sure. But other than that, I'm excited to hang out, see what you guys want to talk about. And did everyone else go? Kai?
It's just me now. Oh, is it Kai? Yay. Okay.
Yay. Did you mean the multisig maybe, Griff? Decide on where to move? Yeah. That was probably the topic. Yeah, also excited for this week. Great weather here. So finished the playhouse while having this talk. And I want to work on look into segment a bit more and look at the notifications. I don't like how we get the notifications currently. And I will probably make an experiment with the Discord support widget. I'll probably just deploy a branch and see how that works for us, and then we can decide if we want to have it. And yeah, happy with the agenda. So grateful for all your work on the token. I did not involve myself much, but all the more I'm grateful that you did. So plentiful. Thanks. And I give it to Dani.
Yay. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit tired. I'm definitely doing a lot of things, but man, coffee really works. It really gets me going in the morning. I let's see. For this week, I'll tell you what I'm really thinking about a lot right now is operational consistency. And by that, I'm just thinking about like from project management perspective, post-launch retrospective. Let's actually take a look at what we've accomplished and what we can do better. So I'm also thinking about like our review process, as we speak about payments. How can we bring in like some of our peer review processes that we've experimented with in the past and get good feedback for improvement going forward? These are things I'm thinking about a lot for a variety of reasons. Mainly because, we have a lot of focus on development and we have a lot more people now. So organizational processes and what was I going to say? Product plus people, I guess. These are the things I'm thinking about. And for the agenda item, that comes down to our payments. That's the area that I also want to focus on this week and talk about how do we get that DAO payment process set up? What is the best way to do that? And then I'm also excited about getting our Giveth, our reputation tokens distributed to more people and having that become more prominently featured in our processes. Yeah, I probably didn't type that out, but that's okay. So the agenda as I have it right now, let's see, I think I included everything everybody suggested. Mateo, I really want to make sure that let's see. Griff, is there a chance that stakes was the thing that came up at the end of the meeting yesterday?
Nope, but it could.
Because I figured out that's that transaction that was stuck that failed. So I just have to go back and take the information and put that back through. So I remember that came up in the governance call, but
yeah, and
I'm sorry.
It's going to cost like $500 to deploy that thing or something.
Oh, so maybe that's why it failed and got stuck.
Yeah. It's just you have to create a token. When you're making that transaction, you're creating a token and interacting with a couple smart contracts. So it's expensive.
Okay, well, that's something to think about and get back to. All right. Is there anything we want to chat about with the Give token economy? I know we've got some sprint plannings, and I know that development's a little bit on hold with Edu being out of commission. Main thing I know is we are working on Giveth contributor list with Owen, and I'm excited about that.
Danny, Kai, today 2:30. Let's hang out for an hour and a half and do this token thing.
Okay, when you say 2:30, that's Eastern time.
It's Central time. Sorry, I'm making a calendar invite right now.
Okay.
It's in. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours from now.
Okay, 10, 11, 12. So that's 3 o'clock Central.
2:30.
Oh.
I'm on Central time too, actually. 2:30 Central.
Oh, you are?
Time.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. And let's see, DT. Nobody here is in Costa Rica. I'll figure out
It'll be Kai, Chris, Danny, Bowen.
Oh, Chris, yay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, that's the next step on that one then. Willie, I know you said you were excited about this week. Is there anything in particular that you have on your plate or questions on your mind around the Give token?
The one thing that I know is kind of looming is putting together an outline for the announcement. And something I did recently for another token. So I kind of have an idea in my head of what it could look like. Just need to take some time and get it down on paper. And then my plan there is just basically to put together a very high-level outline that I can then hand to the communications team to kind of fill out and flesh out all the copy, but making sure here are all kind of the points that I think should be in this big announcement. And that announcement is kind of what we can do instead of a white paper. It's kind of the big Give token announcement that'll explain our token allocation and distribution and utility of the token, and can basically serve as like our official source of truth for the plans when we announce. So that's one thing that is kind of looming that I want to work on this week.
Nice. And Lauren, I know that was something that you had also mentioned you were interested in. Are you kind of like the lead on that from the communications team?
Yeah, I mean, I volunteered to like help out with Give Token communications launch, but I haven't done like much for it. But yeah, I can do it. And if Willie, if you want to sync up, or yeah, I can help. I can do that.
Woo! Sweet. I would love to work with you on this, Lauren. Sounds great.
Yeah, I definitely want to get in on that as well.
And for sure, I was assuming Griff. Thank you. I was hoping you'd be involved. Cool.
I like this idea of we're starting with the distribution phase. Oh, gracias. And then we're moving to, and we're advancing through these phases. And like, because right now when we start, it's just liquidity mining and give backs. There's no real demand for the token. So we have to, that's just something I want to make sure we nail.
Totally. And I see, Danny, you wrote this is the beginning of the white paper. I was thinking, I think a lot of projects are doing this kind of an in-depth announcement instead of a white paper. And so it's more than just like a short announcement, medium announcement. It's got a lot of the details, but maybe it's a good opportunity to see if everyone agrees. Like, if you agree that we could potentially, instead of doing a white paper, just have kind of a really detailed announcement blog post. Or does anyone think that we need a white paper?
I don't think we need, I think what we need is different individual specifications for each project, not so much a white paper. Because we're going to have like, we have the gardens DAO, the gardens, with one hive, and then we have givebacks, and I don't know how givebacks advance, and we have, the causes and quadratic funding, and then we have we'll just have all these little projects. So they'll need their own white paper specification.
Right.
Totally.
Okay, thank you so much, Willie, for clarifying that, and Griff. Cool. All right, the other big topic is our reputation DAO. This is where we handle our payments to everybody, like any proposals that are coming through. So as you know, like for example, we approved Lauren's position now, so she's on regular rewards. So as that list of who's on the team and the source cred numbers come in each month, that was Pan, and we were using Pan in a lot of different ways up through last month. So I think it's a good thing to talk about is how might we change Pan distribution this month? And maybe talk about like the future of that Pan distribution. Like when we started, that was our primary source of rewarding folks for Giveth too. So Willie, maybe you could just give like a quick update on how the Pan balance has been faring over these months. Like, I know we've been giving out 1/12 of it, and it's going down, and then we're going to have some more Pan come in. As you do that each month, what have you been thinking about how that is working and whether we should continue distributing it like this on a monthly basis?
Yeah, let's check it out. So first question was kind of how's our balance doing? So let's pull it up right now. A big part of how our balance is doing depends on the price of Pan, if you're looking at it in USD terms, because we're so heavily weighted in Pan. So when Pan has a good month, it's a good month for our reserves, and when Pan goes down, our reserves go down as well. Right now we have 320,000 Pan in the in our Giveth campaign. Let's see what the price of Pan is. Price of Pan today is 9.5 cents, pretty good. So we've got about a little over 30K USD worth of pan. And we also have 7 3/4 ETH, which is about 13K ETH. So right now in the DAO, we have, right now on the Giveth 2 campaign, we have about 43K in reserves. We also have, there's some funds that are still in the old DAO, the DAO. And the reason for that is that that's what all of our Gitcoin grants for the past couple rounds have still been going to the old DAO because of the match multiplier, basically, and the fact that the more grant rounds you've been through, the more matching funds you're eligible for the more of a match multiplier you get each round. And the fact that we need to, because there's still funds there, we need to basically go and Griff and I need to do some special transaction. I need Griff's help, basically. We did this before where to transfer all the funds out of the DAO, and it's expensive. It's very expensive transactions, and we have to kind of do some custom stuff because the Pan Vala token isn't supported in the DAO stack front end. So we had to basically create a DAO proposal, and then Griff did some special ABI code magic, basically, where we modified the transaction and then signed that and broadcast that to get the funds out. And then we put them into the Giveth campaign. So we did that, last year at some point, and since then we've had 2 rounds worth of Gitcoin grants that have been accumulated in the DAO, both on mainnet and on ZK Sync. So there's a little bit more. Sorry, that was going a little bit into the weeds, but there's probably about somewhere around under 10K, but probably getting close to 10K worth of donations that are in the old DAO on mainnet and on ZK Sync that we need to that we have. We just need to do some manual work to get it to wherever we want it to go, and that could go to the Giveth campaign, or potentially wherever we want to hold funds to disperse payments. That's where that will go. So, does that answer your question?
It does. Gives an understanding of what we have where in order to see if there's any decisions that need to be made about what to do with it.
I have some ideas. I think it'd be really good to hold that stuff to kind of incentivize people who aren't on regular contributions. So if we have people coming in and doing really good work, I think they deserve to get a piece of that, either in ETH or Pan. If we have any critical work, like if we end up getting stuck with this token development and we need to hire some big guns, it'd be good to have that stuff in the back, rather than constantly giving out a pretty good percentage every month to people that will already be getting regular rewards. Keep it for when we really need it, or to incentivize onboarding new people.
I like that, Mitch. And I think I do also appreciate that we can also reward people for going above and beyond. There is some nice aspect of that. But once the Give token is launched, then that becomes another really great tool for giving everybody, even regular rewards recipients, some extra incentive to really, make Giveth awesome as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we're going to be getting Give tokens, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Up to Give governance to token holders to decide, but I would vote for it with my Give. So yeah, exactly. That is pretty sweet. And so I second your proposal there, Mitch. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, Mitch, I really love hearing that from you, because it kind of that's what we did. We made that decision to reward you guys who were coming in and contributing without having any pay. And it sounds like, well, the evidence shows that it worked. We've retained really great people who are advancing and continuing. So it works, and let's keep doing it, is what I hear. And also on Willie's side as well, we've got the whole source cred thing rocking. Praise is one of the things that, so I use that praise tracking spreadsheet to say, hey, look, here's people who have been contributing consistently. Let's get them on the reputation DAO. But we also want that to be rewarded on a regular basis. And that was one of the thoughts that I was having, is there's the give tokens, but to be able to use this fund in a way that maybe we start calculating something like praise along with source cred in this distribution, and scale it back in partnership with regular awards. And maybe I rambled a bit there, but
yeah, I think that's really good to have that incentive there. And just like you said, like it worked. Like at some point I realized, oh, they can pay me for this, and then it led to where we are now. I definitely don't think we should give more than we're giving now, percentage wise. I think we should keep that, and like when we really need it, then we'll have it there.
So are you saying continue taking like 1/12 of the reserves every month?
Like at the maximum 1/12. Like we shouldn't decide to give more than that. I think that's sufficient, and like definitely the ETH, like keep that stuff for like when we really, really need it, because we're going to realize we're, maybe we get stuck with development and we need that to pay somebody to bring in stuff. I don't know.
And we did decide last month to scale back. We cut that number down substantially for people who are getting regular awards. And now we do have more people who are getting regular rewards. So that pooled distribution may even have some more room for reduction.
So maybe just to make a more formal proposal, and maybe I'll make a DAO proposal here, but maybe divide by 16 instead of 12 for now. I mean, for me, the argument is more about, well, are we still bullish on this market? We have a bunch of ETH and PAN. Maybe we don't, since we don't have a lot of external contributors this month, maybe we can distribute less. And then I think the next move would be maybe we should get someone who wants to dedicate in like their time to community management, ideally someone from our community that's already there, who's like, I want to be a community manager, and we can start getting more contributors and they can start taking this on all together, because I mean, we haven't really had any new contributors in a couple months, and I think we could improve that process. Maybe the first contributor is a community manager, so we can manage our contributors better.
I like it.
I like it too. And in addition to the Give token giving us, another currency that we can reward people with, also hope that the Give token economy will drive more donations to Giveth, which will give us also other cryptos that we can use to hopefully, increase our reserves. Hopefully we get to the point where we're getting more donations than we are paying people out, and then we don't have to rely on Griff to be our sugar daddy. That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be cool. And with the token, will solve it.
Yeah.
So this kind of rolls into the topic of, hey, where do we want to collect our money? Pretty well, because like, yeah, I don't know if there's a way to just jump to that thing, because right now the money is in like 4 different places or something, and now I just had to create an address that just like is getting the funds. Fine, right? One more address doesn't hurt to hold money somewhere. Yeah, maybe we could like figure out that strategy. Kai, you were mentioning it. That was something from the last meeting.
So Griff, I know you and I had talked about this was kind of the thing we were saying. It'd be great to in the future be able to talk to Luke about having multi-sig wallets that are both XDAI and mainnet.
Yeah, and then Kai said in the last call that he might have some old Gnosis safes that we could take over. And I don't know if anyone else made a Gnosis safe a long time ago, but if you did, can we have it? Does anyone else have an old Gnosis safe? It looks like Kai might have stepped away.
How old?
Has to be older. if it was made in the summer of 2020 or before that, for sure, 100%, it would have a copy on XDAI.
2020, the multisig or just the Gnosis Safe?
The Gnosis Safe, a Gnosis Safe, an old.
Yeah, I have one on my mobile phone.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and I made it 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure, but it's old.
Can you send me the address? Can you send me the address?
Yeah. I mean, can I? What can I do there?
Do you use it?
Well,
I use it.
Oh.
If you're using it actively, it's not as nice as someone who's just got an old one that they practically forgot about. It's really too bad Kyle's not here right now, because he mentioned he's got like 2 or 3.
He was gonna check, I think, to see if we could use it.
There's no one else who's made a Gnosis Safe, right?
I did, but not that late.
But I didn't get the bigger picture. Why should that be the older safe? What is the problem we're having right now? I maybe missed that. Sorry.
The Gnosis safes that were made before a certain date, sometime in the fall or winter of 2020, all that on mainnet, all got a Gnosis safe at the same address on XDAI.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we just lost some. We're using a multi-sig that only exists on mainnet as our main address, but we really need to transition to something that exists on XDAI and Ethereum. If we had we could just add people to it, and it becomes the Giveth, becomes revolution.eth even.
Nice. I for sure have one. I just didn't decide which one because they were used as multi-sigs, but for projects that like non-con, we don't do one this year, I think. Yeah. If we don't mind that there is other ENS names pointing to it, I for sure have one. Worst case, we used the one for Interspace, and I get a new one, just an address, because I'm the only owner there. But yeah, I will follow up on this topic.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I thought that when I made the one on Gnosis Safe that I would be able to do this, but what I'm hearing now is we need to wait and get this other wallet. So probably not going to be able to change this process for March payments is what I'm hearing.
I don't see a reason why it couldn't happen quickly.
Okay. Like so we could probably get this accomplished within the next week, which would still be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it might take a little bit more time to get the money out of everywhere, but having a different address for our Giveth campaign, our Giveth project on Giveth.io should be able to be done pretty quickly. And then we just start funneling all the money there from all the random spots where it is. That might take longer, but yeah.
So part of the goal here to get the funds out of Giveth to campaign on Giveth Trace and onto XDAI.
Yeah, I mean, I think the end goal is, hey, we have a new address that's a multi-sig, that's effectively a DAO that's controlled by all the people who are active right now in Giveth, and then it is the place where all of our funds end up funneling to, and we get rid of all of this mess of random addresses, the old multi-sigs, the different DAOs that we've made in the last couple of years, and we just all funnel it into this one place.
Awesome. And then can we do this in a way, at least for XDAI, where the DAO, everyone who holds RGIV tokens are the signers, or the DAO itself is the one signer, or do we need to also have a separate set of signers separate from the RGIV holders?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, is there a way where basically like we can just use the DAO that we have on XDAI where we already have all the RGive holders? Can we use that to disperse funds, or do we need to also basically do a DAO proposal and then have a separate set of signers for the multi-sig that then do a separate transaction to disperse payments? Does that make sense or no?
Yeah,
That's what I wondered too, Willie. Thank you.
it would not be easy. I mean, yeah, it just wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be hard. Like it would be more like then the Gnosis safe on XDAI would send money to the RGive, you know, and then the RGive distributes it. Like we could just make a cultural rule that says the Gnosis multisig, which collects funds, always sends it only to this DAO. Like that's not hard.
That'd be cool. But then who would have to like hold the key basically, or keys for the multi-sig? Would you have to have a single person? But
no, ideally it would be a bunch of people. Be like
the way they can send, the only place they can send it to is the DAO.
that would be a cultural expectation, a soft governance, as we call it. You know.
Danny, your dogs are going crazy.
I know.
Okay. It's not. We do need to have a separate set of separate from the DAO. We need to basically have some signers that hold the key and do a separate multi-sig in order for this to work. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's just because of this Ethereum and XDAI. We're trying to live on both chains. We need to have something that lives on both chains, and our Give DAO can't do that.
Right. Okay, so then that begs the question of what's the process for electing the signers and all that? And obviously we want to do, I'm a big fan of soft governance and not overcomplicating this, but at the end of the day, somebody needs to hold the keys.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine we could get like, you know, 10 people-ish and make it like a 4 of 10 multi-sig or something like that, so it doesn't have to be so overbearing.
Cool.
And also they can be different on each chain. You know, once you have it deployed, we can have like a different set of people who own it on mainnet, and we have a different set. The DAO could be one of the signers on XDAI as well, but it wouldn't be a signer on mainnet. You know, like once you have it deployed at the same address, you can do whatever you want with them, but at least they have the same address.
Right.
Sorry, now I gotta get back. Okay, I'm unmuted. Phew. All right, so I'm hearing, I think I'm gonna put a note in there for what I think are the next steps for that, which are lining out the timeline to get this done for March payments. So what do we need to get done in what order in the next week to make sure we get our payments out through that multi-sig? So the next step on that is to work with Kai and figure out which one to do and move from there. And so for regular rewards payments, Griff, you and I had talked about that. I'll make sure those get out to everybody. And this is where we talk about your situation, Mateo, right? Are you there? Yeah. So Mateo and I have been doing a little bit of testing because the delays were happening with the SDG Impact getting their funds processed for the last 2 months. We wanted to make sure we had another backup process. And also we're trying to understand exactly what fees are coming out. Mateo has been really kind and hasn't really been sharing this, but the fact is each month his paycheck is actually around $50 less because the transaction fees are being withheld or taken out when these transfers go through. So we were trying to figure out exactly where those funds come out. And we did a little test transaction using TransferWise. And I sent $20 across. and the transaction said it was successful, but Mateo didn't get any money because even on a $20 transaction, the whole $20 disappeared in fees. So basically what we learned is we still have to pay a bunch of money to pay people money, no matter what process we do. So it's like, yeah, yep, go ahead.
No, that was the test that we made through the Swift payment that is the most costly. But if we go and do the other one, maybe it's a little bit cheaper, which is using the Wise transfer accounts, and then I turn the money to pesos in here using the Wise account that is not related with Swift. So from $50, $60 fee for all the movement, I think we can do it in 20 or 30 at most if we use the Wise transfer method and not the Swift one. So we would make from US bank accounts, and then in here, that bank account of mine from the US is Wise. The transfer to my local bank account is cheaper than the Swift one. So it's a mess.
It still seems to end up coming out to cost somewhere around $60, no matter what way we go. We tried a bunch of different ways. Basically, SDG, when they do their transaction fee, it comes out of what we're sending to Mateo. So if we just let SDG do it, then we need to raise the invoice amount enough to make sure Mateo's getting his full pay. That's the simple thing to do, I think. And then if I don't have an absolute guarantee from SDG Impact that the payment has gone out successfully within 24 hours of my request, and there's any kind of delay whatsoever, then I'm going to have SDG send me ETH, and I will do the exchange. And that's what Mateo and I tested. I can send the USD TransferWise to TransferWise myself. So we will make sure Mateo is paid on time, his full amount this month. But it took a little bit of figuring out, and ultimately, as long as we're exchanging crypto for fiat, we're going to be paying a fair chunk in exchanges and transfer fees. And I see the thumbs up from Griff, so that's what we're going to handle for that one. And Mateo's the only person I think that we have to be figuring this out for. Everybody else is receiving their payments in crypto, and Griff, I just wanted to check with you and make sure mainnet DAI is still the way we want to be going. Those are the wallets we have right now, but it sounds like going with, if we complete this, I'm sorry about the dogs. If we complete the safe multi-sig wallet setup in time, then there's a potential we could do this on XDAI instead, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And even XDAI Pan. I mean, it just depends on how we want to play. But now for Gitcoin donations, I don't know that for the next Gitcoin round we really need to push it. We can do we should be able to do all the pan matching on Giveth, right? So I would think for distributions it makes sense to do like take the pan, bridge it over like all to XDAI and hold it in our XDAI wallets and distribute it from there. But I don't know. I think this is stuff that takes deeper thought, and we need to look at it when we're there. Like once we have that, it's a safe, and we're actually distributing the payments, and we're in the actions. I think we'll have a lot better understanding of what we want to do. But there's this great app, Disperse app. Like I wish Giveth I wish the beta version was like better, but it's not. Like it's not right now. It's just too expensive. So like we could just move it all to XDAI and then do a Disperse app, and it'd be simple, easy. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Does anybody else have any burning questions, concerns, or anything we need to know about your payments coming out this month?
Well, I assume this month it doesn't sound like we're going to end up doing governance, unless if that's possible, sweet. But then if not, please just like, can everyone just hunt me down and make sure you get paid?
No, I mean, we divided that list up. So the only people that on this call that need to hunt you down for that are Mitch, I think,
Uh-huh.
and Marco, and Amin. Mitch, Marco, and Amin.
Sweet.
Yeah.
They're all good. So we're all good. That's amazing.
Okay. And I'll be the only one hunting you down for the rest of them.
Fantastic.
Okay, good. So the other thing I wanted to just follow up on is what I shared in the community mess call yesterday. As of right now, the last proposal that passed was the proposal that allows anyone to create a vote on the reputation on Aragon, and that has passed. So the next proposal is to distribute more tokens to everybody. So I just wanted to make sure you guys have a chance to share with me if you have any questions or concerns around the token distribution. And basically this is just me, after we've talked about it a bunch, coming up with what I think is a good proposal. And I seek your objections and concerns. So this is your moment to tell me if you think this is good or not. Basically, the first in the initial distribution, we gave out 1,111. We are now at our second round, which is Q1 for 2021, and giving out 2,222 tokens. The people who hold tokens from the initial hatch that did not participate in the last few months are Brian and Ben and Camilo. If anybody wants to reach out or talk to those guys and find out if it was something temporary and they're coming back, that's cool. But as of right now, they're not qualified to receive this second round of token distributions. And then I kind of wanted to just check in with you guys because I didn't actually have statistics on Cam for the last 3 months from like SourceCred or Praise, but he's appearing in our meetings regularly, and my personal leaning is that's a yes. If anybody has any thoughts or reason why we should reconsider that, I'd love to hear it, but that's my vote. And then adding Forrest, Lauren, Ashley, Mitch, and Tommy are the new RDAO members that if this proposal goes through.
It's good to me.
Sweet. Okay, well, vote with your tokens, those of you who are already there. And the rest of you will get to do this a lot more. And as of now, you can create proposals to be voted on by the DAO, even now without that passing. Hopping back to my agenda. This is me thinking ahead. I just wanted to say that in the past, we used Lumio, and somebody from the DApp team, I'm going to just come back and be able to look at you guys and stop sharing now. So in previous incarnation of the Giveth community, our DApp development circle would review the new GitHub issues and identify the ones that qualified for the next sprint. And then we actually used like conviction voting, like dot voting, to say which ones should be in the next release. I'm not saying we should go back to that, but I am saying what can we learn from how we used to do that? And what would you guys like to see happening from a community and governance perspective to guide the future development of the DApp? And this is just a question I'm asking now. Maybe we could go around and hear what you guys think. Griff, do you have a first thought? None. Okay, pass it.
I'll pass it to Will.
Marco's got a thought, so I'll pass it to Marco.
Thanks. Yeah, I just thanks Danny for the reminding us how we did it before. I think like we should use that like as informative information, just as an input from the community and from the users, what their needs are, but then we should align that internally with our roadmap that we have developed. And then like try to include those features. I don't think like if every feature will be just voted and say like, hey, we should include it and build this as the next one. And that actually does not align with the stuff that we're currently working on or have plans to develop in the future. That might kind of like go out of balance. So I think the information we receive from users and community should inform us how they think, how they feel. And then we should discuss it like within our development team and implement that according to our roadmap that we developed previously. And yeah, I pass it on to Willie now.
Cool. I like that, Marco. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. That you know, at the end of the day, but yeah, I think it's good to have all that input from users and input from our own community members and stuff, just as data points. I think it's a really good question, and yeah, typically I'll tell you guys kind of how we do it at Shapeshift. So at Shapeshift, we have every couple months, basically, we have product prioritization meetings. And the product team will typically come to these meetings prepared to propose, like, here are the next 3 or 4 features that we want to focus on. And always those will be, the company's already set initiatives. So we've already said, okay, this year, our goal is to do X, Y, and Z. So everyone's already aligned on these big initiatives. Then product team, our job is to basically come up with the features, the next features that we think are the most important to prioritize to achieve this initiative. At these meetings, most of the time, what ends up happening is, we have all these stakeholders that will agree on what product proposes. There's also the opportunity for anyone else who wants to propose another feature to make that case and say, you know what, I think that this feature that you guys aren't proposing is actually more important to achieve the initiative, or is more important for whatever reason. And everyone has the opportunity to make that proposal. Usually what happens is that we end up going with product's recommendation because we put a lot of thought into it, and once everyone gets into a room and talks about the pros and cons, we typically align there. But sometimes someone brings a feature that we hadn't been considering or weren't going to prioritize, that we do agree in that meeting to prioritize. The really good things about that meeting are those meetings that it brings in all the different perspectives. We're definitely considering everything the users have suggested, but we're not necessarily just going with exactly what the users have said. These are the most important features to us, because that's not always what aligns with the business initiative or the other macro perspective. But the really great thing about those meetings is that it gives everyone an opportunity to propose it, and it gets everybody aligned what the roadmap is. Because if we didn't have this meeting, then there might be people who had an idea and they feel like they didn't get the chance to share it, and then they're not aligned with the roadmap, and that creates friction. We really need everyone rowing in the same direction. So I'm not sure exactly how, if that's the right strategy and process for us to do in a distributed community. But that is how we do it here. I think that could work, but I'm also open to other ideas. But yeah, that is one option, is that we could have these regular meetings where we basically, the goal of that meeting is to align on a roadmap for the next month or so, and anyone has the opportunity, like, we should come prepared to give a proposal, but anyone can have the opportunity to propose other features at that meeting. But after that meeting, we should come out with a roadmap, and that roadmap could go through a DAO process and get approved.
I see nodding from Mitch and Mateo, and very, very thoughtful looks from Lauren and Amin. This feels really important to me in a variety of ways. I'd really love to see this monthly prioritization as a way for everybody to be in that alignment that Willie talked about. And it's why I've kind of been encouraging Lauren to be actively looking at how to liaise between development and communications around what is coming up next on that roadmap. But also I'm thinking about like design in particular too, like for you, Marco, as we're having discussions about the design changes on the homepage and the languages, and even for Mitch, like documentation, like as features and as changes are happening in GitHub, Mitch knowing what that is and being aligned with that and knowing how to document it, and Marco's design and conversations from that. If we have a one meeting where each of those different perspectives and inputs are coming in, I really think this is an important thing for us going forward. So that's why I wanted to bring it up.
I have to run to Amin and I have the Giveth one sync, so I think we have to run.
Cool. All right. I think that covers everything. And look at us all the way to an hour. Thanks,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Have a beautiful week.
Thanks, everybody.